What is up, guys? Pulse Panda here, and I am on episode 8 of Starcraft as a noob. So the series is kind of going to start taking a different approach to the game. I've already gotten you guys down with the basics and all that shenanigans. Now I'm going to kind of go into the more detailed things, the things that you don't normally think about, but that actually do make a difference. Number one is your graphics settings. A lot of you may not know this, but your graphics settings actually play a huge role in what you can see, especially with cloaked units. It also takes a huge toll on your performance, and if you don't have the money to just drop on a super gaming PC, you're going to want to have better performance. So right here we can see that Hero has some Dark Templars, because he's Satan. And everyone knows that Dark Templars can be really annoying to deal with, and your graphics settings actually play a huge role in that. So I'm going to show you these settings. Now mine are actually slightly differently. There. Alright, so these are the graphics settings. This one doesn't matter. This is just your display mode. I personally prefer windowed. That way it makes alt tabbing easier, and it makes it easier to record and whatever. But it can be full screen. It doesn't matter. Have anti-aliasing off and have VSync off. VSync, if you don't know what that does, it basically just adjusts your game refresh rate to match your monitor. So if you're getting below 60 FPS and you have a 60 Hz monitor, it'll cut your FPS down to 30 just to keep it from screen tearing. But StarCraft does a pretty good job without screen tearing. I've never had any issues and all that shenanigans. You're also going to have reduced violence on. That just clears up the battlefield, so when all your units are dying, you can still see what's going on. And you're going to want to have your texture quality as low. As for the graphics, all you want to do is select the lowest graphics quality, turn your shaders to medium. Your shadows will naturally be medium when your shaders are. Turn up your effects to medium, and have everything else just like this, exactly like this. Now, for my computer, and I've spoken with Blizzard support, and they may be fixing this soon, but for my computer at least, if I go with these settings, there's graphic glitches around the geysers. Sometimes it can get really bad, sometimes it doesn't. It all has to do with the post-processing and the shaders. So to fix this, as you may run into it, all you have to do is turn post-processing to medium. It doesn't make almost any difference, and it cleans up that glitch. So if that bothers you, that's something to notice as well. So let's just go from the point of view here of the Zerg. Now, right here you can see that there is a little scary man. He's right there. He's just chilling, shimmering, spooky. And he's hard to see. So watching this in slow speed, you can see them moving. Kind of, right? It's already hard, but you can see them shimmering. Now, if we band that up a little bit, to right there, all right, and we're gonna change our settings to the highest as. Let's pause that. As my computer can run the highest, let's just turn it on to ultra and whatnot, extreme. While it updates, and I'm not going to restart StarCraft to apply all the changes, but it looks better. All right, so now if we jump here, we can see these guys, and we want to select the view that doesn't show them. And keep in mind these graphics are really high. It is actually harder to see them shimmer. The same kind of goes for creep tumors. They're harder to see, or as well as buried widow mines. And actually these settings come from a gentleman that goes by the name of Jack Attack. His link will be in the description below, and he's worked really hard to put together his channel, so definitely check him out. And he goes a little bit more in depth with this. I just kind of wanted to touch on several things today, but this is definitely one of them. Your graphic settings certainly matter. So again, just have it on low, turn shaders up to medium, turn effects up to medium, and for me, post-processing medium. And it runs faster, it doesn't look terrible, and things are easier to see. Alright, so now I want to cover something else. Let's just exit out of this game, get that background noise out of there. I want to go over a hardware setup. So I'm not going to do so much with the whole hardware thing. I'm not building you guys a computer. I'm just gonna go with what I know works. I recently built a computer super cheap, and it runs really well, and all it has, and these links for these products will be in the description below as well, all it has is NVIDIA GeForce GTX 550 Ti. That is it's a fairly old graphics card. It's around 4 to 5 years old, if not more. It still runs really well. You actually get pretty decent performance in a lot of games, Starcraft being one of them. And the processor is an AMD FX 4350, 4.2 gigahertz, and that's a quad core. And it's AMD, so it's cheaper. It's not the cheapest. I'm not going with the cheapest. I'm not gonna build you guys a computer, but I know these work, and they're not bad. And the links for those will also be in the description below. As well as that, your peripherals actually do make a bit of difference. Now, it's not huge. The higher up you go, the more it makes a difference. That's why pro players get sponsored by Razer or SteelSeries and get lots of cash money prizes, as well as peripherals for them to play with. But it does make a difference. I personally use the Razer Aerobros mouse. I think it's a fantastic mouse. It's wireless, but it can be wired. Honestly, I have not noticed any difference between the two. It's just as responsive wireless, which I think is a huge plus. I hate wires. I also use the Razer Black Widow Ultimate 2013. This is about $50 cheaper now than the new Chroma version of this keyboard. Honestly, I wish I had the Chroma, but I don't. Otherwise, this is a great keyboard. I absolutely love it. I've spilled water in it. It's totally functional. This thing doesn't care. It's beautiful. It's got nice clicky sounds, but not too loud. And that's what it sounds like. I don't know what kind of key it has. I don't know what switch, but that's what that is. I also use the Razer Kraken Pro. Now this has recently changed. I used to use the Logitech G930. Yeah, or the G920. I don't remember, honestly. It's wireless. Honestly, avoid wireless. It causes more problems than it's worth. But sound isn't as important in this game. It matters a lot more with like Counter-Strike. But I mean that's just the headset. And if you don't want to go out and get a headset, honestly, there's some Panasonic earbuds for $8 off Amazon, and they work fantastically. So all these links will also be in the description below. I put some time together to throw it around. I also have the Starcraft system requirements on the description. Although if you guys already have this game, I'm sure you already meet those requirements. I'm just throwing it out there just in case you guys don't and you're watching this. You're like, hey, what's Starcraft? All right, on to my next section. Hotkeys. Now, I covered hotkeys briefly earlier, and I kind of wanted to cover them a little bit more. So let's just hop into options and hotkeys. Now, I'm actually going to just go through this whole hotkey thing. When you get the game, it comes with this hotkey layout. Standard, you can create profiles. These profiles are actually stored online. So if you go over to a friend's house, log into their computer, play StarCraft on your account, you can just select the hotkeys, and it's fantastic. Everything is totally customizable and is totally awesome. So like the grid, basically these match your hotkey card that's down in this corner. Just straight up match your hotkey card. It's really, really easy to learn, and it's super convertible to any race. Now, personally, I think the one I am going to show you next is a lot better, but this one is really good for learning. So, like Q, you know, it'll be this first spot here, so it'll build an SCV or it'll build a Marine. What it depends, it depends on what you have, and it's super easy to learn, super simple. Notice how in standard, there's different crap going on. In grid, there's this. So that kind of gives you an idea how easy it is to learn. And if you're trying out different races, honestly, I'd learn this one. But that being said, there is a hotkey layout called the core, and it's super customizable. They've got like for righties, for lefties, for bigger sized hands, medium sized hands, small sized hands, whatever. All those fancy shenanigans. And I'm actually going to pull that up right now. Alright, and this is the website for the core. It's on timliquid.net, and guess what? The link's in the description below. Easy convenience for you guys. There's no excuses. And what the core does is it takes all your hotkeys and puts them so your hand is oriented to sit on J, I, O, P, and Control. At least that's for the medium right-handed hotkey setup. Obviously, you move your keyboard for this, otherwise that'd be horribly uncomfortable and really bad for your wrist. But there are several benefits to the core, and I'm not going to read off everything on this website. Check it out, though. It is seriously worth learning. It increased my speed by a good 50 APM. It makes everything faster. It reduces repetition, basically. So if you already are familiar with the base hotkey setup, to build a barracks, and if I get the key wrong, bear with me. I haven't used the base hotkey setup in a very long time, but as far as I recall, building a barracks, you have to hit B and then B, right? Well, actually, and we're gonna get scientific, that is actually a lot slower than hitting, say, BG. It's slower to double tap something, and you're just gonna have to trust the people that did the research on that. I did not, but these guys did. Now, so what this does is it condenses all your hotkeys, makes use of Alt, Control, and Shift a lot more for a lot of different stuff. So it centralizes all your camera hotkeys, all your unit hotkeys, all your building hotkeys, all your command card hotkeys. I mean, everything is just together, and it's really, really simplified. And so, for example, in this situation, worker units, they're always on the I button, always, no matter the race. So it actually does make learning different races easier too, because you don't have to memorize all the different hotkeys. All the same type of unit is on the same hotkey, so all the base units are on I for a building. So Marines, you know, SCVs, probes, all on the I button. Building your command center or your nexus or your hatchery is always on the apostrophe button. So it makes it kind of easy, and it's really nice. Now, this website has everything, and Jack Attack, link in the description below, did a whole video on this too, setting it up and getting used to that and all that stuff. So again, check that out. It's super, super, super duper useful. One thing, however, that I do want to cover is the 5 stages of the core, and this kind of ties into the whole motivation thing. This explains what you're going to go through, because I mean, learning it, if you already know the other hotkeys, is actually kind of hard, I won't deny. It took me about 2.5 weeks to learn it, but this kind of goes through the different stages. You know, number one, you're curious about the core, like what's the big deal about it? It is actually fairly popular, but it's not really covered a whole lot. And then, you know, after maybe I'll give it a try. So then you have absolutely no idea what the heck you're doing. And then you sort of start getting it, and then you totally get it, and you can't go back. Honestly, I've tried going back to the normal hotkey because I'm not a huge fan of moving my keyboard to the edge of my desk, but I can't. I mean, the core is just fantastic. I'm promoting, and then no, they're not paying me to say this. I wish they were, though, but I would still say it. So, I mean, that's pretty much the core. Alright, well, I mean, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you have any comments, suggestions, concerns, complaints, questions, or anything along those lines, leave them in the comments below. I love replying to your guys' comments. I absolutely love the feedback. And if you guys want to see anything on this channel, new or changed, doesn't matter, be sure to leave it down. I've already made a couple videos based on feedback, so maybe I'll make yours. Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, if you know anyone that can benefit from these types of videos, go ahead and share this channel with them. I will be releasing other types of contents, though the subject matter will not be disclosed, as I don't want to make promises I don't fulfill. But I am working on other content, I assure you, and that is actually pretty close to release. I believe I'm starting the next series on Sunday, so look forward to that. Don't know what day it'll be released, but it's being recorded Sunday. Either way, be sure to share this with your friends. You know, get the word out. I'd love more viewers. I want to help more people with, you know, this sort of thing. Want to get back to the community. So, otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. That's right. I have a closer.